Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Pam Rakansky. I work in the guest services as a guest services associate for the North Suburban YMCA, but I'm also work to bring you programs like this, our YMCA education series, which you are attending today. So thank you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the fourth in our 6-month monthly meditation series, hosted by Dr. Paul Nevin. Dr. Nevin holds a doctoral degree in clinical psychology, a master's degree in developmental psychology, and is a trained wellness coach through the Mayo Clinic. He owns Heartlike Psychological Services in Bannockburn, which he runs with his wife, Carrie. In addition, Dr. Nevin has extensive training and experience with meditation and has worked with meditation practitioners all over the world for 4 decades. He is now in his 4th year bringing meditation to the community through the North Suburban YMCA. Dr. Nevin has been a wonderful addition to Y programming, and I know that many people appreciate his meditations series or programs, especially now. The YMCA Education Series is free and open to the public and is a 501c3 charity. We do rely on fundraising to help us serve the community. If you enjoyed today's presentation and want to help us continue to offer free programs like this, we welcome your donations to the North Suburban YMCA. You can visit our website at nsymca.org to donate and you can see all that we're doing and planning. Enough about the why. You came here to meditate today, though. So without further ado, I'll give you Dr. Paul Nevin.
Welcome, everybody, and welcome back to most of you at this point. I think we got a pretty regular group, but I think we have at least one new one. So welcome to our new friend. Today, we're going to try to do a couple of things depending on how the time goes, but I'm going to take the bulk of it to focus on what I call brief relaxation. We've talked before about how meditation can be a lot of different things. We use that one term for a lot of different practices that all have to do with cultivating consciousness in some way, developing consciousness in some way. But certainly one of the foundations of meditative practices is learning to calm the central nervous system, learning how to relax, basically, how to elicit what some in the psychological and medical communities would call the relaxation response. If you look at what happens when you're stressed, there's a number of biological markers that you can notice that go in a certain direction, is signaling that the body is stressed. The relaxation response is any practice that elicits the relaxation response is when those markers all go in the other direction. So if your breathing changes in a certain way when you're stressed, it goes the other way when you have a relaxation response. So this is essentially about turning off the stress response, getting out of that fight or flight part of your nervous system and brain, shifting back into a place where you can be more in what they sometimes call the rest and digest part of your system. Your first choice would be to do a regular practice that is of some significant time, maybe 15 minutes to 20 minutes at least. A lot of the studies that look at relaxation practices look at 15 to 20 minute practices once or twice a day. But in my experience as a clinical psychologist and wellness coach, I find that for many people, that's hard to manage. They may do that as they're going to sleep and fall asleep to it, but most often they feel it's hard to find even one 15, 20 minute practice time during the day, much less two. So not as good, but way better than nothing is what I would call brief relaxation practices, which can be anything from literally less than a minute up to whatever you can manage, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And we're going to go through, I think I have a half a dozen or more, maybe 7 or 8 different kinds of ways you can use brief relaxation. We're going to start with, this is just sort of an introduction to our talk today. I'm going to start with just a meditation that is focusing on sound. And we're going to use a nightingale song to focus us at the beginning. As I've said before, when you focus on anything that isn't words, it tends to even out the two sides of the brain and activate the more nonverbal part of the brain. So it helps to bring you into a meditative state to listen to anything that is not your own language, especially things that sound like a language but are not yours. So someone who's doing what's called toning, or a different language, like if you listen to a Sanskrit mantra from India or something like that, that can help you to kind of prime the space and prime your brain to move into meditation. In this case, though, we're going to use bird song because I just think that's a very relaxing, natural, soothing cue for us to get started with. I'm only going to do this for a minute, maybe less, or maybe a minute or two, but close your eyes or focus on something with a relaxed gaze in front of you, and just let yourself just focus in the present moment on this sound. All right, coming back. We're going to move into some brief relaxation practices. Each one will be 1 minute to 3 minutes long, probably. These are, for those of you who have joined us previously or joined us on many different occasions previously, many of these are things that you've done a longer version of before or part of a longer meditation before, but we're going to do each one as a separate brief relaxation practice at this point. We're going to start with breathing. Breathing is a uniquely useful one for brief practices because I literally have some clients who will do just 3 breaths or even just a deep breath. You may be even signaling yourself to remember every time you're doing something. Like I've had teachers who every time they go to a new class, they'll do 3 deep breaths or something like that. It's a way of like just stringing little moments of relaxation, like a reset thing, almost like stringing pearls into a necklace over the course of a day. Again, it has not been studied in the way that more extensive practices have been. And in this case, we're going to do a special breathing pattern for a little longer than a few breaths. This is a practice that has been shown to really help shift you out of the stress response. If you just outright, when you breathe in, you have your inhale and then you have your exhale. Some would go even further than that and say there's an inhale, you can hold it, and then you can exhale, and then you can hold it. We're just going to focus on inhale and exhale. And when you extend the exhale a little longer than the inhale, like if you breathe into a count of 6, like we're going to do, and then breathe out to a count of 8, that tends to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where the relaxation response lives. In other words, it helps to shift you out of a stress response. So if you're finding yourself a little stressed or anxious, and you want to kind of turn that off and shift back into the part of you that knows how to be comfortable in your own skin, a period of just breathing in and breathing out a little longer than your in breath will help you to do that, will help your nervous system to make that shift. So again, focus on a point in front of you or close your eyes and focus internally and start to just pay attention to your breathing. At first, not trying to alter it in any way. And we will just spend a few minutes doing what I call 6-8 breathing, which means we breathe into a count of 6 and then out to a count of 8. You can approximate this if you want, or you can actually count it. I'm going to count for the first 3 cycles and then let you count on your own until we finish this part and move to the next one. So when you're ready, begin your inhale to a count of 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue with your own count and adjust it however you need to, whatever is comfortable for your breathing, but make sure the exhale is a little longer than the inhale. Continue for a couple of minutes. After your next breath out, keep your eyes closed, but return to just whatever is comfortable, normal breathing for you. Now we're going to do a brief present moment practice. This is a simplified version of what many would call mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation. The essence of it is you simply are doing whatever you're doing in the present moment without trying to change anything, as wordlessly as possible. So more in the experiential part of yourself than the talking part of yourself. And then you're non-judgmentally being present with whatever is happening. And if your mind wanders and gets distracted or starts talking, you don't judge that. You just bring it back to whatever the focus is. Right now, our focus is just on being present in the room, the feeling of our body, whatever you hear, whatever you're feeling. If your eyes are slightly open and you're looking at a point, you can take that as part of your experience. Move into a mindfulness meditation for a minute or two. It is normal for the mind to want to talk. You just keep coming back to the silence and the experience. Guide your mind gently back to experiential knowing. In a moment, we'll move on to the next practice. Let me just briefly explain, though, that when you use this during your day, you can do it sitting like this and be mindful of just your breath and your body sensations, but this is particularly good as a brief practice while you're doing something that doesn't require a lot of thought. Washing the dishes, folding the clothes, waiting on hold on the phone, watching something out your window, looking at your bird feeder or looking out at your garden. taking a walk, anything where you can just go to a wordless place and just be experiential and in the present. And it's particularly useful, I think, for times when you're in a not so great mood and your mind is not your ally. Your mind has turned a little toxic or negative and is worried or sad or whatever it is, to just kind of get a palate cleanser on that, to kind of free yourself from that and have a circuit breaker, to have a moment or two, up to a minute to several minutes, of just being mindful and without words, and then come back to a fresh mind. Our next practice is going to be what some call a body scan, which is pretty much just what it sounds like. We're just going to go through the parts of the body and look for where we're holding tension. So some people focus on the breath while they're doing this, that's optional, but just sort of like scan your body and see if there's a place where you find that you feel a little like tension or discomfort. And if there is, just in your mind, give yourself permission to let that go. If you like, you can move the area slightly. Could roll your neck a little bit if you're feeling something in your neck, or shift your position a little bit. Some people like to use the breath here. If you feel like there's a tension in the back of your head, you could breathe into that area and then breathe it out, and then go on with your scan. But the idea is to go through your whole body and see if you can find any place where you're holding tension and release it. I'll leave you to do this for about a minute. Research has shown that when people simply have the intention of relaxing a part of their body, somehow we're able to do that and we're able to get better at it over time. So don't worry too much about knowing how to. Don't worry too much about whether you feel a dramatic shift immediately. Just continue to give yourself permission, give yourself the clear intention of, I want to relax that part of my body. So if you feel a tension through your shoulders, just feel as though you're able to relax it a little bit more with each breath. Now we're going to move on to what I call an inner smile practice. Many meditative practices utilize emotion as a focus for meditation, particularly obviously positive emotion is more often used. In this case, we're going to focus on the feeling of a smile. And think a little less of the smile of your mouth. You don't need to smile like a big smile. If you want to smile with your mouth, you can physically just turn up the corners of your mouth a little bit, almost like a half smile or a quarter smile, just to remind your body of the feeling of smiling. But even more so, think of the smile of your eyes. Think of the way you would look at a young child that you love when you're trying to look at it with a feeling of approval or positive energy. That's what we mean by the inner smile. It's more the effortless feeling of looking with positive energy. Feel that inner smile, that inner sense of positivity. And connect, if you can now, to anything that evokes or that evokes that feeling in you. So anything that a smile reminds you of, people you love, things you enjoy. We may do a more extensive version of this practice if we had time later today, but for right now, I'm just going to let you do it free form for a minute or two. Just feel the sense of a smile inside of you as if it were a sunshine within you that's radiating through your system, as if you had an inner smile that was shining through your body. And if that reminds you of something that makes you happy, just let that happiness nourish your smile further and continue that way. You can bounce around from one thing to another that helps your smile, or you can focus on one thing like sunshine, or spring coming, or your grandchild. Anything that helps you to feel a sense of an inner smile. Keep coming back to how it feels in your body to feel that sense of smiling inside it. Now we're going to move on to imagine a retreat, perhaps a retreat in nature or some other place that you find enjoyable. Someone would call this going to their happy place. Imagine some place that evokes positive feelings in you, feelings of relaxation and positive emotion. Could be a beach, could be your grandfather's farm when you were younger, could be a place in nature, a fountain that you like, a flower garden, could be real or imagined, but a positive location that you associate with good feelings. And feel as though you're actually absorbing something from this place, as if there was some tangible, almost the way you breathe in an aroma, like you're breathing in the essence of relaxation and positive energy from this place. Let yourself bask in this retreat for a minute. Now we're going to move into what is called a focal word meditation, which basically means we focus on a positive word and just absorb the qualities of that word and what it evokes in us. I'm going to suggest a few different words as we go through this practice, but start with the word peace. You can just say the word to yourself or feel as though you're contemplating the word. In many cases, people like to pair this with the breath. So as you breathe in, you can say the word peace. As you breathe out, you say the word peace. Breathe in peace. Breathe out peace. And if you're pairing it with the breath, what some would suggest is feel that as you breathe in, you're being given the gift of peace. And as you breathe out, you share whatever peace you have to share with all sentient beings. Peace. I'll let you focus on each word for what will be maybe 3 or 4 breath cycles, maybe more, maybe less, but a short period of time. And then I'll introduce a new word and just shift to that word, starting with peace. Now for a new word, take joy. Feel as though you're breathing in joy from all things. All good things are bringing joy to you like a gift. And as you breathe out, you're breathing out what joy you have to give to share with all sentient beings. You can say the word joy silently as you breathe in 1 or several times, and then say it again as you breathe out if you like. We're connecting to joy, giving and receiving joy. Now we move to the word love. Feel as though you're breathing in love, lots of love, and breathing out love to all sentient beings. Connecting to the quality or essence of love through repeating the word to ourselves. So focus. Now we move to health. Feel as though you're breathing in health and breathing out the gift of health to all those in the universe who would benefit from your knowledge of health or your experience of health. And we move to the word abundance. By abundance, we mean that there is no scarcity of the things that you wish for in your world. We mean that there's plenty of resources, including things like financial resources, but also time, energy, positive emotion, friendship, whatever you would want, whatever you would wish for. Feel that there's an abundance of that, and you are magnetizing that to you. Breathe that abundance in. And then as you breathe out, feel like you are giving that abundance or wishing that abundance for all other beings. Now we're going to focus on the word power. Power not in the sense of domination or any negative connotation, but power in the sense of efficacy, the ability to make things happen in your life. Feel as though you are breathing in a greater sense of personal power, greater efficacy, greater ability to make things happen. And as you breathe out, you're wishing this for all sentient beings and giving it to all sentient beings to your best of your ability. Now we move to the word wholeness. Wholeness meaning a feeling of completion, a feeling of all things being taken care of, feeling of balance and harmony between the different aspects of your life. Feel as though you're breathing in a sense of wholeness and giving what sense of wholeness you have to other sentient beings on the out breath. Now I want you to pick your own word going forward. It can be anything. If you are religiously inclined, you might choose the word God or a word prayer or a word like grace, or else any other kind of word, freedom, connection, friendship, family. Any word that strikes you as something you would like to bring into your life and give to others, pick that word, choose one for yourself, and let that be your focus for the next round. Now come back to a wordless place. Just let yourself focus on your breathing. We're going to move into one more brief practice. But before we do, let me say this focus on words can be used in different ways. One exercise I sometimes give to clients is to take a calendar and on each day of a week, write a word that you want to cultivate in your life. So Monday could be peace, Tuesday could be joy, Wednesday could be love, whatever words you want to use for your week. And then on that day, throughout the day, like a string of pearls, do this practice for a minute or so at various points when you feel inspired to do it. So on Monday, there might be 2, 3, 4, 5 different times during the day where you stop for a moment and breathe in peace and breathe out peace for a few different rounds for up to a minute or two. Do this for the full week, and it will set a tone for a real turning point in your life of bringing those things into your life. Now we move to the last of our brief practices, which is just imagining a positive path forward in your day or your week or your month or your year. We're going to focus first on just today. I want you to relax and think about what you're likely to be doing immediately after this program is over. And just imagine that you feel really good and that whatever you're doing is going well. If it's a leisure activity, you're really enjoying yourself. If you have some sort of work to do, you feel that the work is done with great ease. You're surprised at how positively things are going. If you have interactions with others, they're going very smoothly. People are smiling at you, you're smiling back. Now skip a few hours ahead into the afternoon or around dinner time if you like. And again, feel that the experience is very positive. You're noticing that the whole day has seemed very lucky and positive. If you're eating dinner, you find it quite enjoyable, quite a positive experience. If there's company, you're enjoying company. Skip forward into the evening hours. Feel that you're enjoying your experience of the evening. Move to bedtime. Feel such a wonderful feeling of comfort as you move into bed. Feel very safe and protected. Easily fall asleep. Sleep well and soundly through the night. A night full of sweet dreams, positive dreams that help you to feel better about yourself and your world. You awaken tomorrow morning and you feel a wonderful energy, like you haven't slept that well in an age. Perhaps you remember some positive dreams as you awaken. You look forward to your day. Now look forward a little further, maybe several days, maybe even several weeks. Imagine that you're just looking back and thinking, you know, ever since I did that meditation, I've been having a lot of good luck. Seems like everything is going very smoothly. Maybe you're having a conversation with someone and telling them that your life seems lighter. It feels like things are easier. Problems seem smaller. Blessings seem bigger. Leave your mind with that suggestion to create that. And when you're ready, remember yourself in the room. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit. Come back to your body. When you're ready, kind of blink your eyes open a little bit and come back. All right, we're just about noon, so I think we're going to stop there and see if we have any questions. I could spend up to another 10 or 15 minutes if people have questions. Otherwise, we can wrap up. Pam, thank you for moderating. And if you have a way of turning on mics for anybody who wants to talk, if anyone has a question, just raise your hand or whatever, and Pam will turn on your mic, I think.
Yep. Anyone that has a question, you can turn on your mic or
Maureen?
wave. Anyone that has a question can just wave and I can unmute you. Did you hear me?
I think Maureen is asking.
Thank you. Let's see, it looks like I asked you. You might have to do that.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. When I inhale to go in up to 6, that's really a struggle. Is that weird? I mean,
No, you know, some people do that with a shorter count at first. We've done it a handful of times in the past. So I felt it was fine to start there, but I apologize. I probably should have started at a shorter number for people. Usually when I start that, I give people permission to change it however they want to. There's no right or wrong. It depends, depending on people's health. Some people have, you know, different respiratory problems. Some people have done a lot of breathing exercises. So no, it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people find that a little bit too slow.
Yeah, I mean, exhaling's okay. You can do exhaling for 8, but inhaling is just, maybe I was trying to do it too fast, or I don't know. I know, but I thought.
No, nothing wrong. Just do it at whatever pace is comfortable for you when you do it yourself. And there are some people who would say there's some positive effects of increasing it over time. So if you start off and it's like you want to do breathe into 4, breathe out to 6, or even breathe into 2, breathe out to 4, anything you want to do to start, but think about trying to extend the breath over time. Most people don't use their lungs very much. We tend to kind of breathe, especially as we get older. There's actually a saying in China that children breathe all the way to their bellies. Adults breathe into their chests. And as we get older, we breathe into our shoulders. And that's a sign that we're close to being out of here. So it's good to reverse that pattern, breathe into your whole lungs. Oxygen does a lot of good things for our system. And a lot of us don't oxygenate our blood as nearly as well as we should because we're not breathing well. So the deeper you can breathe over time, the better, but don't do it to the point where it's a strain. That's not going to help anything.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Any other questions? Well,
all right. As usual, if you want to send me an email through, I think, Pam, you have a screen you can put up at the end here.
Yes.
Okay. If you see my email on there, if you want to send me a question or a suggestion for future sessions, I think we have 2 more of these.
That's about it. Hold on.
Yeah, that was fine. Either way.
Either one. Okay.
That's fine like that. Yeah, just so my email is right there. It's pnevin@me.com. If you go to the website, there's a contact page, but it just allows you to go through to that email. So you can just directly email me at pnevin@meet.com. And one thing I can do is let me know if you want the introduction to meditation that we did in the first class, if you never received that. There is also a written version of pretty close to what I did with the brief relaxation practices, an introduction to using breathing, mindfulness, body scan, inner smile, an imaginary retreat, and positive words, and a path through your day as brief relaxation practices. I can send you a written version of that if you would like it. And also, if you have any suggestions or comments, you are welcome to contact me, and I'd be happy to give you whatever feedback I can if you have a question. So with that, my expectation is we're going to do, I think, 2 more of these. I think we have a May and a June, and I believe they're both the second Tuesday of the month.
Yes.
And then I'm not sure where we're going to go from there. I think it's possible that I will take a break through the summer and then come back either in the fall or the following January and do another series if people are interested. But for right now, we're going to do 2 more sections. All right.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
great.
much.
Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate you joining us, and I hope to see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Bye.